Death of Dishonor is confirmed to be in the expansion pass, releasing on June 14th. I tend to get my expansions and things for free from Paradox, but it's good to know for you guys. Is that the one with EU4's Russia, Third Rome game? Weren't I about to invade the Balkans? Probably. It was either the Balkans or the Entente or India? Though I don't have any troops over in India. Do we have any troops in production? We do not. How's our equipment supply? Actually pretty healthy. Interesting. I've actually left myself in a fairly decent place. What the hell is up with me? This is terrible. In a awesome kind of way. Treaty of Colombo. Whoa, 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 stuff's happening. Baratia. Oh, right, that was against Hyderabad. A magnificent Sultan has declared today a day of celebration in recognition of our glorious victory over the rebellious Arab states. We get some more political power. Report on corruption. Today we received a very troubling report concerning the unlawful use of crown lands in Yalova. According to this report, several bureaucrats from the Treasury are colluding with local administrators in Yalova in order to embezzle from Mukatra farmland revenues. Yet another group in the same region is illegally renting out royal property belonging to the nieces of the Sultan. The report further claims that both groups are being protected through shady bookkeeping in the Ministry of the Interior. According to our royal accountants, this shameless act of robbery is costing us millions of Reichmarks every year. Should we investigate these claims? So we get the national spirit of the investigation, which grants us negative national unity, negative political power, but we get the national focus, fight corruption. Or let it slide, this is too dangerous. No, absolutely, we want action on this. We're the nation of reformers right now. Annexation of Persia. After a long fight with the Persians, we've launched a full offensive and forced the Persian army to surrender. Tehran is now in our hands. We are occupying that. Annexation of Egypt. After a long fight with the Egyptians, we've launched a full offensive and forced the Egyptian army to surrender. Cairo is now in our hands. No, I'm going to continue occupying that. And the same with... Oh, wait. Following the war against... Directly integrate them, which costs more political power than any of the others, but I'm wondering if that's going to mean they become a core. And then the Treaty of Colombo is against Hyderabad, so we have a big border down there between Dominion of India and Bharatian Commune. There was a focus for the Balkans. Yeah, what is my focus? My focus is currently infrastructure investments. So I'm doing my usual thing of building up my industry. Huzzah. Yes. Because we wanted to get down to... Nope. So trade expansion would be quite good, quite nice. Consumer goods, factories, reduction, factory output, and research time. Now where's the diplomatic stuff? Retake Yemen, Balkan Turks. Not implemented yet. So this stuff doesn't actually exist. That's how you would ordinarily get to that. And then here we go, fight the corruption. This path could deal a serious blow to corrupt groups in our empire. So I think that's what we will want to take next. Wow, that is a long focus. 210 days. Not sure I've ever seen one that long. That's crazy. Conquering any of the Indias and puppeting them secures you for manpower for the rest of the game. That is true. Mordred organises the Ottoman Empire better than the Ottomans did. Why, thank you. Alright, so let's get our troops into position, then we can basically decide what we're doing from there. You're occupying the Suez, that's fine. My fast units, which are still horsemen, are moving over there. What are we researching? We're researching ships. And also... tanks. What tank is that? Is that a light tank? Heavy tank. Interesting. What government stuff do we have? We have no companies. Do we have any heavy tank manufacturers? No, we have artillery. Right, we were going to go artillery with infantry, and that's why I'm getting heavy tanks, so that I can cover the infantry with the heavy tanks. I remember now. We should be able to justify it, although political power is low at the moment, but we are going to be generating a lot. And to justify that war, we will need 21. You're not allied with anyone. So yeah, we should be able to go after Bulgaria fairly easily. How's the Entente Communard War? I believe the Communists won. Germany has fallen. Socialist Republic of Italy fell. That's interesting. Ah, but Union of Britain fell to Canada. I remember that. So actually the Entente is doing fairly well right now. And once they've secured India, they're going to be doing even better. Request of the International Jewish Lobby. The Ottoman authorities have always welcomed the Jews since the reign of Sultan Bayezid II, who allowed the settlement of the Iberian Jews in his lands after the expulsion from Spain. They've been an integral part of the empire. However, since the rise of Zionism, laws have been passed to prevent the mass settlement of foreign Jews in Palestine, while avoiding restriction on their pilgrimages. Recently, we've been approached by an international Jewish lobby asking for less constricting laws. This would increase manpower, but I don't really care about manpower so much. And that will cost me a ton of political power, which could be quite destabilizing. Grant complete freedom, which is even more manpower, but I don't care about that manpower. So we're basically paying 400 political power for some factories. Oh, it's so tempting to take this. Just for the political power. Saying nothing about the actual situation in this area, by the way. I'm going to be very careful about that. I think I'm going to allow the limited settlement. This is definitely going to destabilize us. I think it's going to make us go down to low stability. That's irritating. Europe is kind of a mess of border gore because they love puppeting stuff. At least Prussia's back. That is something I can support. Alright, so at this point, do I want to not take a focus for a time in order to recover my political power? Or do we want to get on with the fight corruption? Because we're already low on political power, so that's just going to knock us lower. Do it. It has become clear that the Ottoman Empire will not be cured of its illness so long as the corruption lives on. Sooner or later, one of them must destroy the other. Do it. And this also means I'm not going to be able to involve Bulgaria for ages. So that's kind of been put on halt. That does help though. Right, you guys can train. I have a feeling there might be a couple of you who need training. Or not. Actually, our troops are pretty darn skilled. Right, we are producing tons of infantry equipment. Do we need to be producing this many? Probably not. We'll wait until we have tanks, then we'll start producing some heavy tanks and possibly some more artillery. What is our template like? What template are we using? Would be the second question. It is you. That is not a great template. Are we using any artillery? Some. Right, we were using the Mountaineers, which we're considering merging with Marines. We have loads of military points, which we could actually then spend on some heavy tanks. Let's take a look at the heavy tank production. It is 41, so we can immediately get the Arslan tank. And then upgrade it to the ASAP, or even the Sangel. We'll probably get ASAP though, so we can get the Ultinordu battle tank. Tanks look pretty cool, I have to say. Right, 3 civilian factories because we are finishing production of that. We could improve our industry further. We could also improve our logistics. For example, towards India, because there is likely to be a war over there. Logistics in the Balkans are just fine, and probably could also do with a little bit over that side. We'll get up to level 5. Like so. And then I think we'll basically do the same coming this way. We'll go to 6 in Sistan. The Arslander tank. That's not what I said, is it? Yes, the Ottomans have an amazing potential for artillery because they have got 2 artillery manufacturers, soft attack and breakthrough, and then defense and soft attack. So their soft attack is going to be absurd. Especially that's a plus 10, so their soft attack bonus is plus 15. Plus they have got artillery commanders, if I remember, School of Firepower, fire support. Actually, not as many as I thought. La Plata's declared war in Peru. I mean, armoured spearhead's also pretty strong. But it's mostly about the design companies. Psychology for the organisation recovery rate is quite good. There are 2 manoeuvres. In fact, the manoeuvre would help anyway because it would increase the strength of our heavy tanks. There goes stability, as we expected. We shouldn't go any lower than Loth, though. Yes, Ataturk has died. Head of the police murdered! Terrible news! Muharrem Arif Pasha, head of the Emniyet-i Uminanye, was murdered outside his house this morning. On the Parliament's orders, Muharrem Arif Pasha was leading the royal investigation into corruption concerning the embezzlement of Yalova Crown land revenues. Several witnesses reported seeing 2 assassins firing at Muharrem Pasha from an unmarked white car before driving away. There is no doubt that the assassination is linked to the Yarlova case, and the search for the white car is already underway. Clearly a hornet's nest. End the investigation. No. We will get to the bottom of this. And as I anticipated, it is going to be costing us political power throughout this process. However, our industry is growing stronger. And I should probably see if I need to import some more steel and stuff. Right, we've not invested anything in our air force. Artillery we can get upgraded. In fact, this is December. I should have waited until 42. Armoured operations, you can continue though. Let's get a supply consumption reduction, which will be useful in the deserts. Yeah, I think he just dies of natural causes, honestly. Arrests lead to high officials. Following the trail of paperwork from the Crown lands, the police investigators were able to uncover how the Crown revenues were embezzled. 8 officials from the Treasury, 3 administrators from Yalova, and the Undersecretary of Interior were found to be stealing the funds through a series of transactions. The police are ready to make the arrests, but arresting such high officials could lead to unforeseen complications. Shall we issue them? Yeah, bring them to justice, of course. And we have a very independent judiciary, so there can be no meddling. No longer getting the effects of the Druid funds. Cool. That actually went away pretty quickly. Did I spot some tea with no milk there? Of course. I wouldn't commit such heresy as putting milk in Earl Grey. Ugh. CSI Istanbul. Evidence points to Tesudut. The Yalova arrests attracted great attention and were protested by several prominent politicians. Mehmet Kavid Bey of Tesudut party foremost among them. From the preliminary reports, it appears that many of the corrupt officials had connections. Bacon Killer, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Interesting name too, by the way. From the and the Undersecretary of the Interior currently under arrest was a close relative of Mehmet Kavid Bey, who nominated him for the position in 1917, during his time as the Minister of Finance. And even though the money trail does not reach Mehmet Kavid Bey, evidence conclusively shows that he worked to cover up the scandal and protect the corrupt officials through his political connections. Should we take action against these politicians? Yes. This is just going to be bringing our nation to the knees. Constantinople Corps prevents arrests. Police officers attempting to arrest Mehmet Kavid Bey and 7 other politicians were blocked by soldiers of the Constantinople Corps today. Army units prevented the arrest and took Mehmet Kavid Bey and others into hiding at an unknown location. There is great confusion as to what is happening. What's going on? Armed putsch. The situation rapidly descended into chaos as soldiers from the Constantinople Corps took to the streets and martial law was declared. Within an hour, army units took control of the Sublime Port, major roads, bridges and telegraph stations across the city. A battalion of soldiers led by 2 armed civilians are also reported to be moving towards the royal palace. I'm going to go and station my fast units in Constantinople, I think. The palace raid. The putsch reached the palace as the army battalion forced its way into Dolmabahce. After killing 4 royal guards defending the entrance, soldiers and armed civilians entered palace grounds. Sporadic resistance was offered by the palace guards inside the building, once inside the building. According to the unconfirmed report, the putschists burst into the royal chambers of Sultan Abdülmecid II and tried to force his abdication. Unexpectedly, the old and stubborn Sultan pulled out his gold-engraved revolver with a shaky hand and a terrible firefight ensued. Sultan Abdülmecid and 3 of his personal guards were slain in the fighting. Undeterred, the putschists captured Mehmed to Ahmed Nihad Effendi and proclaimed him the new sultan. It appears that we have no choice but to accept this terrible turn of events. So we accept the inevitable and we become an authoritarian democratic party. No, we're not going to accept this. It ends here. Fight the rebels. Osman Ford rides out. I have a feeling it's going to lead to a civil war. Osman Ford rides out. Osman found Effendi, Ottoman Sesat and Field Marshal, was in Sicily with his friends when he received news of the palace raid. In his Mercedes-Benz SS, he went straight to the royal stables and took control of the 300-strong Ertugrul cavalry regiment, a ceremonial lancer unit formed. I did just send in the cavalry as well. A ceremonial lancer unit formed from the Kaiserreich Turkmens in full ceremonial uniform, armed with a lance, carbine and cavalry sabres. The household cavalry charged downhill into the Dolmabahce Palace and crushed the paramilitary rebels positioned outside. Assaulting the palace itself, they chased the rebels through the building and rescued Ahmed Nihad Effendi. Osman Fard was reportedly enraged to find the Sultan murdered and swore justice would be done. On his orders, the cavalry regiment was quickly assembled outside the palace. I love the fact I actually sent in the cavalry. Didn't know about this event. Like, I know nothing about the investigation. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to send in the cavalry because they're among the best troops and I know they're in the area. I don't know where my special forces are. Oh, they are up here. Interesting. Osman crosses the Golden Horn. Reacting to the unexpected horseback assault by Osman Ford, the Tesuduit clique sent 2 army battalions to reinforce Dolmabahce Palace. Upon reaching the palace, however, both units disobeyed their commanders and switched sides to support the well-liked warrior prince. After appointing trustworthy officers to command the formations, Osman Ford placed Loyalist Infantry Battalion to guard the palace and took the other battalion with him into Parliament. Encountering no resistance at the Parliament, Osman Ford positioned his infantry to defend the main road and marched on with his cavalry. The elite Ertugrul cavalry regiment soon reached the Galata Bridge, held by rebel paramilitary units. The regiment, who regularly crossed this bridge every week to join the Sultan in Hagia Sophia Mosque, defeated the rebels on the northern side and charged across the bridge to rout the rebels on the southern side. The Sublime Port lay ahead of them, atop a great hill and defended by rebels. Forwards! Show no mercy! Osman captures the Sublime Port. Wow, this happened so quickly. Osman Ford marched his regiment uphill to take the war ministry and end the rebellion where it began. After hours of heavy fighting across the Babi Ali Avenue, Osman and his cavalry routed the remaining rebels and captured the ministries. Once in control of the war ministry, Osman Ford Effendi had radio orders sent to all units of the Constantinople Corps to return to their barracks and spent the rest of the night organising clean-up operations across the city. Some rebels tried to escape by boats, while many others simply surrendered. By dawn, all that remained of the rebellion were the bodies and the smell of gunpowder. A great victory! Huzzah! Traitors in the army. Like, this totally doesn't happen in Turkey. Now, that was really confusing and interesting to watch, actually, from the West, was the attempted coup in Turkey. What was it, last year? Earlier this year? Last year. And then all the judges and things being thrown into jail. Yeah, interesting times. Like, you wouldn't think that coups still happen in modern countries, but apparently they do. Oh man, minus 400 political power. I'm kind of lucky that I didn't get to minus 500, actually. Osman executes the rebels. Osman Ford, the hero of Tripolitania, defeater of the rebels, and commander of the Royal Cavalry, organised the capture of several hundred rebels in the days following the putsch. Rank-and-file soldiers were sent to military prison for crimes against the constitution, but their commanders weren't as lucky. Osman Ford ordered the officers and all paramilitary units put to death for their acts of treason. Ali Inshan Pasha is executed, rebel officers are executed, paramilitary units are executed. We get the event Osman executes the murderers. Who was that? Ali Inshan Pasha. Nope. Oh crap. He's my marine commander. Oh well. Bang. Thankfully he was only a level 3, so I hadn't trained him up too much. Yeah, this will still be uploaded to YouTube. Don't worry about that. I'm making sure that I've got a recording of it as well. So it'll be high quality on YouTube. Who was that? Alpha Bore. Oh, Alpbore? Alpbore, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay. We're only 70 days in. Criminy. So yeah, let's take a look at this new guy. Ahmed Nihad Effendi. Have my government changed? I'm not sure they have. I don't think they have. Good stuff, good stuff. Onwards. Osman executes the murderers. After a first round of executions, Osman Ford had the leaders of the putsch brought to Sultan Met Square for court-martial. The 6 men were quickly convicted for the murder of the Sultan and sentenced to death. The only question that remained now was how. So we can do the firing squad. Or we can hang them. Well, this was defeated by the military, so I would say firing squad, and they were themselves military. This was not a civilian coup. So who are we killing here? Kavid, Himmel, Kamal, Abdul Dawka, Nial, Nazim. So none of them. Oh wait. No, Himli. No, that was a different one. Don't think it's any of them. Bang. What are the national spirits? I will show you. They are currently the investigation. National unity minus 5%. Daily political power minus 10%. The construction sector plus 10%. Construction solid constitution. Consumer goods factories minus 5%. Daily political power plus 20%. The Ottoman decline minus 10%. Political power. National unity. Division organization. Production efficiency and research. Especially that 10% research is harsh. But we do have reformed education, so the research penalty is actually halved. Effect of enemy partisans, reduced down political power gain. And the gendarmerie was extremely useful during the Arab uprising. And then planned mobilization, recruitable population 3%, which was kind of critical to my not having to upgrade to extensive conscription. And just another normal day in the Ottoman Empire. I love how the event chain started as CSI Istanbul and ended with a cavalry charge. Oh, I got your name correct. Fantastic. Yeah, I had quite a few Turkish friends at university, actually. Really, really like them. Very cool people. Need to go to Turkey one of these days. A little bit concerned with how unstable things seem right now, but it's definitely one of those countries that it's like right near the top of my list of places to go. Osman Ford, crowned Sultan. Having restored order in the capital, Osman Ford assumed full control over the Ottoman armed forces. After graciously allowing Ahmed Nihan Effendi to go into retirement in the Yildiz Palace, Osman Ford, son of Mehmed, rode to Eyüp Sultan Mosque at the head of his Ertugrul cavalry. Surrounded by an immense crowd, he entered the mosque alone for the sword ceremony. After brief prayers by the clergyman, the ancient sword of Osman was brought forwards. Osman Ford astonished everyone present by taking the sword and tying it to his belt himself in defiance of the customs. The ceremony ended with the declaration of the new Padishah to the public. Later that day, the 44-year-old Sultan visited the tombs of his ancestors around the old city in preparation for his sovereign duties as Sultan Osman Rabbi, probably. So, plus 250 political power, which fixes most of my issues. And he becomes the leader of the paternal autocrats. He's the warrior. He's not a warrior, he's the warrior. Division organization plus 5%, recovery rate plus 10%. And we have finished the investigation. Oh, it didn't even go through the full way, so sweet. Well, let's continue doing this. Self-serving cliques within our glorious army will be disbanded. Oh wow, minus 10% research? Hello. There exist factions within our military that hold loyalties other than to the Sultan. These ideological, nationalistic and even religious cliques loyal to the various hidden societies will be the death of our armed forces if something isn't done. Quite agree. Oh, he actually has the bonuses, so you don't actually see that many rulers in Kaiserreich with actual bonuses, but apparently Osman IV is one of them. Sweet. That's quite a good bonus too. You don't see many military bonuses, usually it's to, like, political power. Fantastic. Happy with that. Alright. How long will this one take? That's only a 70 days, so that's kind of regular. I'm going to keep the cavalry stationed in Constantinople because, Military factions. The Tesudit clique. A large clique of officers within our army known to be affiliated with the Tesudit party are complicit in the recent revolts against the monarchy. As the military wing of the Young Turks, these officers had instigated mass rebellion against Abdulmahid II in 1908, and later dethroned him in 1909. Now, decades later, many of the same men appear to be working to undermine Ottoman authority. It appears that these men harbour loyalties other than to the nation and to the Sultan. Oh man. This is like the Soviet purges. Ismet Fevil Nasi. Nasi is one of my commanders. That's Mehmed Nuri. Nasi. Damn, and he's one of my decent ones. He's my garrison commander. No, he was like one of my most high experienced ones. Hopefully this guy doesn't go. That would be very annoying. Gets the event. Military factions. Oh right, that will be the next event.